So the first thing, obviously, the new series, which you guys are all doing amazing work on, really draws a line between Clark and Superman. How important was that when you guys were approaching this arc to make sure that those two people were very separate in this story?
You know, I went back and read all the Superman stuff that's been on the last few years since the New 52, and one of the things I thought there was opportunity to do was explore Clark Kent more than we've seen him and make him more of an investigative reporter and kind of get back to his roots. And he's isolated himself from everyone around him through all these stories, and I thought that was just the core of Superman and a way to explore and how do we challenge that head on. And that was when we talked, I think we talked on the phone like the first day we were going to do this, and we started talking about Ulysses. He didn't have a name back then.
No, I didn't.
But we knew we were going to create someone that Clark could connect to and explore what it's like to be Clark Kent and Superman. But it's really been a collaborate, like everyone in Klaus, everybody's so involved. The thing that I really love about this is Superman is such a important character to everybody in us, and everyone's treating it so respectfully and putting every ounce of thought into it. Everyone's really looking at it and saying, how can we craft this story and this book and this character of the best quality we can, because that's what Superman deserves.
And Superman needs two artists. That's what happens. We need two artists. I need a second artist. That's what this does.
I was going to say, you were saying earlier, he actually keeps you in line.
Absolutely. Absolutely does. He's an artist in his own right, a pencil artist and a color artist. And he comes up with great ideas for cover sketches and cover designs. And it's having an extra artist on the book. It's great.
John, we started to talk about this last year at the convention. Do you remember this? Yes. And this was when this was initially percolating. You know, one of the things that really appealed to me about doing this was because I knew that John was going to bring his A game. You know, moving to DC, doing a character like Superman. I mean, I just knew that John was going to do his absolute best work ever. And I would have been absolutely insane to pass that up.
And when they threw on this young up-and-coming writer, Geoff Johns,
Yes.
I mean, he's hungry, he's excited, he's got new ideas. That must have been good for you guys.
I was absolutely pleased because we were going through, you know, some indecision at a certain point. And then when Geoff stepped up, I thought this was really going to be something that we could hit out of the ballpark.
Obviously, this is a Superman story, and we're talking a lot about him and Clark Kent and his relationship with himself and the world. But you're making other characters like Perry White protagonists in the story. These are main characters as well. So what can we expect to see from a guy like Perry moving forward? He's a big part of this story.
Every time I wanted him to talk about something real, he had to go talk to Batman or Wonder Woman. And I was like, oh, he's got no one right now to talk to.
Yeah.
And looking at Perry White, I thought the obvious choice is right in front of me is someone who really sees the potential in Clark that he's hiding, doesn't quite know exactly what it is, but sees that potential and is somebody that wants to take him under his wing and wants to pull him up, and also has been on the same road Clark has in certain ways as a reporter himself. So having Perry, you know, fully invested, involved in Clark's life, it just felt very natural. Obviously, Clark's can connect with Ulysses, and this is something like this guy's going through something he'll never experience. Is that no one's going to come and say, hey, Clark, Krypton's really around. It's not. But to have, so he sees this as an opportunity to help Ulysses and to, you know, bring him in and connect with him and connect him back to the world he's from. And obviously it's a very big mirror for him, but I think the opportunity that changes it all is when he discovers Ulysses' parents are still alive. And that emotion in that scene that you guys did was, like, that was the most important part of that book. Like the fighting and it's all great, but that last final scene is so important because you can see on Clark's face the warmth and happiness that he feels for him, and then also a tinge of sadness because he knows in the back of his mind this is something he's never going to have. But the whole point of it was that we knew we were going to kind of rebuild Clark's life a little bit with familiar faces, which is why we wanted to do something brand new for the superhero side. Like, if we're going to really stay true to the core of the emotion of Superman with the characters that people know and love, we want to surprise them on the other end of it. And it's a huge challenge for us to make a new character and have people connect to that character because there's new characters all the time.
And, you know, in terms of new characters, I mean, I think you should mention the villain.
Oh, the Machinist. Yeah. It was actually originally going to be a character that we know, and we started talking more about it and making the new stuff, and it evolved into a whole new character. And ultimately, I think you just drew a crazy good design. Like, it just right away, it was like, oh, there he is. His mask is amazing. Like, I love that mask. But we'll learn more about him in issue 3.
Well, and also, you set it up in the first issue.
Yeah.
So there was nothing, you know, extraneous in the script or in the decision making. So that's cool to see that you set it up and that things are going to play out.
Yeah, like the
subsequent.
Yeah, the Titano scene wasn't just, hey, let's have him punch a gorilla. It was actually a breadcrumb to the Machinist.
Right. Obviously, you're all icons in your own right, but this, I think, will be a legacy book for all of you. So what's the one thing that individually that you hope people take away from this book?
I just want people to like the character more than they started, you know, to really embrace it and find something new in Superman.
I'm just trying to do as good a job as I can with this character that's been done a million times before. And it sounds selfish, it's not. I want the title to be great while we're on it.
I try to approach every job as, you know, seriously as I can. But with a team like this, you really have to go the extra mile and make this something memorable, not only for ourselves, but for the people who are reading the book. And that's my goal. Something memorable, something that people will, you know, treasure and appreciate and like.
All right, you guys, I know Comic-Con looks like a lot of fun, like it's all just parties and celebrities from that show that you might recognize, but maybe you don't. But it's actually super exhausting work. And that's why I've spent the last months training for this to bring you everything you need to know from this show. I haven't slept, I've been bathing in tubs of energy drinks, I eat nothing but sugar, I do push-ups every second of every day, and all you have to do is subscribe to DC All Access so you don't miss anything from the show floor all week long. That's how much I love you guys. I know what you're asking yourself, is that guy okay? The answer is yes, I'm totally fine.